Hello people, and welcome back to part 31 of Palaven, our vanilla Cities Skylines build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And we've got a lovely little view here from the Y Interchange, guys. The Aviation Club has joined the city, joining the live streams, as has a little highway rest stop over here. Thank you so much for all the support recently on the streams. We've done a couple out of the usual schedule. Everyone's really enjoyed them. Really appreciate it. We spent a lot of time detailing this highway here, which is coming together really nicely. Now that we're down here, gone for a little tiny elevated cycleway, which will be linked into the downtown and surrounding suburbs on this side of the map eventually. And it'll also continue kind of under the bridge here and meander down this way once we get over to those builds. And there's also a rail line here too, which is now hooked into the national line via a little rail bridge that's going to come under. So this will take cargo and passenger trains as we kind of expand the industrialized area of the map. This isn't final yet, it's obviously kind of still in progress, but we'll continue to work on this build in streams and kind of refine it down a little bit. Yeah, just thanks for the support on the streams. It's really nice to see that you guys are enjoying it as much as you are, because I certainly do enjoy streaming. But back to the episodes, and today we are going to be working on this little block of land that we have. So initially I had this marked out as residential. However, I now believe it's time to do something rather spicy with nightlife. Now we're not going to go spammed leisure specialization like we have over at Dawson Waterfront. You see we've got lots of these core lights. We're not going to go this kind of nightlife. We will have some of these assets in here, but a different kind of nightlife to Dawson. And that's what we're going to be working on today, because we need to do it in like a downtown setting, right? It has to be big, lots of chunky assets. Let's go ahead and get started and take a look at the road network first of all. Kind of bearing in mind how this build is going to fit into the rest of the city. We obviously still want to be bearing in mind our kind of transitional climb here. It's not going to be quite as long on this side, obviously because there's less landmass, so the distance between kind of each layer of height will be a little larger. So everything at the minute, we're kind of looking to centralize around this little subway station here, which links into the Metro Ring Road. So we want everything to kind of focus around this little design right here. So I think what we'll do first of all is grab ourselves a little 2-lane road. And let's come out without our road guideline on. I'm going to leave 4 tiles in between, I think. And then this will allow us to get some nice repeated Plaza spice either side of the subway here. And I think we'll bring some road against road action in at this point too. In terms of the Plaza, of course, we need to decide between zoo and city. I think this area is a little more kind of easygoing. We'll probably end up with the Zoo Plaza. Yeah, I think probably the zoo is kind of the go-to choice here, so let's bring that in. And as we are going to be near a highway connection, this is a good opportunity to actually factor in some intercity buses. And there's an asset from kind of that pack that we haven't really used too much yet, and this is going to be the intercity bus station. We'll place that in just in the middle like that. So the intercity buses are going to come and join the ring road, and I guess we'll kind of see how that flows as they begin to kind of arrive in this part of town. Downtown nightlife town centre is almost beginning to form. It's threatening to develop. I think what I'll do is just a really simple one-way feeder loop here for the buses to come in and stop and come back out this way again, whilst it doesn't kind of fight against the rest of the traffic at both junctions. And then I guess we'll bring this one straight up into that road network there, but of course we want to have... do we just go regular roads here? Yeah, I don't think I want too many grassy roads, maybe just around the little town centre here. I'm calling it a town centre again, not a town centre. Okay, so I have actually taken out the resort hotel, which previously sat here, because I think I'm going to use it as part of this build here. So if we just kind of place it in and analyse how this is going to fit in, we'll definitely have some repeated car parks outside of this from the Green Cities DLC. Again, how is it going to fit into the skyline? I think I'm going to end up having it side on. I think that's what we'll probably do. So absolutely, I want some repeated Green Cities car parks out of this. So we're going to come down with 4 tiles in between. Then we'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can come in now with Find It. Just don't forget, guys, Find It is only going to be used for kind of the nitpicky asset placing like this. And then we can have some car parks directly outside of our hotel. Which I think will be nice. I think it will. Okay. With this road right here, I think we may just bring... I like a dead-end road. I guess we could upgrade this one, couldn't we? Yeah, I suppose we should. This has to be a nice place to transition into the tram-only road. So let's upgrade into this one. We'll destroy some light detail in there, but that's fine. And then again, into this one right here. Nice. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now let's factor in what we want to kind of look at from this side. There is a unique building I am quite a fan of for the nightlife downtown area. And this is the music club. This comes with the concerts DLC. And it just has a certain vibe about it that is just super appealing. I think it's like the red brick. It's a texture and a colour you so rarely see in the game. And it really adds. Especially we're going to have like a nightlife focus around here, right? Kind of facing into this plaza here. And then we can factor in a little tram stop around this as well, can't we? Yes, please. Come ahead and grab some tram-only roads. And I guess we're just going to come off with all our snapping off here. And we'll come up with some spice. So if we're coming up against the edge of the road, bring him just to right there. That should be okay. Now we've got some torn textures here, but no torn textures equal trees. And then let's come in with just the smallest little tram square here up against the side of the music club. Leave ourselves some space, of course, to come through with some detailing. And then we can grab this right here, get our freeform tool, and then just a nice little smooth curve. And again, those little tram wires, little electrical poles, are all adding up to the detail, and I think wonderful. Let's have a little discussion around decorating this little kind of tram stop here. Of course, this is an end of tram line. So we like it to have a little more kind of meat and potatoes about it. And just come through with a little repeated bush pattern. Then we can even go a step further and double that up with arc fence. Bring this through. And take it down to like there. And then this is where we can come through with just a single part path without decorations, perhaps. Yep, that's perfect. That is what we're after. And then we can continue our fence to kind of run parallel with the tram line here. And we can look at detailing up this side of the street too. Guess let's bring this back just a tiny bit further so we can mirror this one right here. Off our angle while we're going kind of micro. Guess we can bring it up to the edge now. Super. And then let's run through with maybe the occasional tree or two. Some kind of bushes in the corners too, maybe. So here and there, not too many. And then maybe let's go for some kind of smaller surrounding trees. Nothing overly fancy, maybe a slightly taller one for this corner. Maybe some repeated rock spice in the middle of the tram circle. Or rectangle. Yeah, I think that borders up really nicely against that asset. Super nice vibes. I'm also really happy that these ring road terminals right here, these are almost becoming like mini transport hubs. So now we have overground metro connecting into the underground ring. We've also got intercity buses here now too, which are already bringing some people in, which is lush to see. Let's see how they're flowing around. And he should take the ring road, I'm guessing. Let's follow him, see where he's going. Yeah, he's going to head straight onto the ring. That's great. But now he's just going to leave the city, right? Yeah, transporting passengers to Springwood. Amazing. Okay, so this angle's coming together quite nicely. I'm happy with this. It's going to be tricky to decide what we want actually up against the ring road here because we're going to get some weird terraforming and kind of car park stretching on this sort of terrain, but we'll kind of work our magic and see what we can come up with. I think now this bridge, I want to start moving people across the river from this point. So I think let's come down into our incline tool and just the angle. And then we'll get as close as we can here. And we'll see how we're going to look for a rising bridge that can now flow over this part. And then whilst we're across the water, I'll just keep it in intervals of 10, which gives us those nice even arches. Kind of works with any bridge. And then we'll just descend down to the ground there. And then we know that we have a road connection straight into the downtown from that point. And again, it's all adding to that transport height, isn't it? Especially this side of the river now with the cycle highway. Look at that water. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, so that's factored in. That's going to be nice. Let's now bring up our little grass roads here, which we are going to be using mainly for a little bit of nightlife here. So we'll draw a box around our intercity bus station. And then we'll start to formulate some nightlife squares. Okay, if someone would like to name the downtown nightlife area, do feel free to throw it in the comments. And we'll go for leisure. Wonderful. So we'll start to paint out some larger blocks of leisure right now. Get some 2x2s in here. And then I think we'll come through with a little bit of amusement park path. Just by itself. No decorations on this one. And we'll just have to see how these assets formulate around kind of internal path network. I think I might actually take this one away. And then we'll go for kind of a full block of nightlife that faces into this road. And then similarly here as well. So we do have these walkways either side. We'll break these two connections here. And then kind of this first support of the bridge. And then we can come through with just a touch of terraforming here. And push up this landmass as harshly against the ring road as we can. Do have a little bit of dip in here actually with the way the bridge connects, but I don't think I mind that. That's not too bad. And then let's get some larger looking nightlife assets along here. Maybe switch down to these towers as we come towards this end, you know, where we drop off. We'll just kind of see what spawns in from this side and decide what we'd like to see. Yeah, it's like a little diner on the corner. Don't mind that. It's quite nice. Not so sure about that one though. Fine, I know we are playing with fine and proper Growables, but we will do some organic zoning. Just kind of see what comes in. Let's actually bring this tram line down. So this is the one that's going to connect into the Courthouse Plaza. I think we'll have it stop twice here just for the symmetry of the stop. Totally unnecessary, but it'll look nice. And then we can stop this side of the plaza too. But we'll kind of await our first tram to come down here, which would be quite nice. I'm really enjoying this Courthouse Plaza. If you haven't seen this modular build, it wasn't loaded recently to the channel. Need to clean up these crematoriums too. They're just here for service until they find a permanent home. Yeah, okay. A nice little open space here in front of the resort hotel. We're already getting some people walking around here as well, which is really nice to see. Let's also hook that path network in on this side too. So if we're coming basically down the middle here. And then I guess between this side, where we have this kind of not really zonable space, I guess we can maybe go for something here. Just kind of break the tree pattern, but maybe swing through with a couple of the other faithful, a little bit of the usual palette. And just remind ourselves that we're in Palaven, right? It seems to be the go-to phrase every time we use one of these things in the downtown. But that little corner right there, this little corner piece, it's what it's all about. That's why we're here, isn't it? You know, even both of these stops are getting used, which is nice. It's always nice to have the symmetry. Yeah, we may even stop them along here. I guess that's, yeah, it's probably good enough distance. Getting some people stopping at this new one as well. Yeah, very nice indeed. Very nice. Just something about watching trams move. That's strangely satisfying. So I think in terms of just expanding this here with generic zoning, we could do that, but we've already kind of got a couple of little nightlife specialized assets coming in here. I think we're going to go ahead and run with the Posh Mall unique building as part of this kind of high density downtown commercial nightlife build, whatever this episode ends up being called. But it's a lovely little asset. It almost has like an internal layer of height game going on. No, it crawls up naturally. Nice. And it fits into the skyline too. So I think we're going to run with the Posh Mall in this area. There's some underground metro people coming through now as well. Wonderful. Once we hook power through to this guy as well, we'll notice some people begin to use this ring metro stop and actually start using these, which will be nice. And then we're going to come through and box in our Posh Mall here. And then this should present us with the opportunity to actually come through and have some repeated car parks in here outside of the Posh Mall. We want to also hook in the ring road at this point too. So let's come out by... We'll come out from 350 at each point. And then we can come through with our freeform and road guideline. And just get a nice little curve on there. That'll be a nice little entrance into the city. Very nice. Let's come through our car parks again. Again, this is just 2x2 Eco Green Cities commercial zoning. And you'll generate yourself a little pattern that looks something like that. Very nice. I actually wonder, because we've come out at an off tower count, if we just do maybe a little extension here just to squeeze them in. Also throws off the straight road pattern this side of the ring road too. I don't want to go too many car parks. I think that'll be okay because we already have a lot of car park decal on these assets themselves. Especially with the resort hotel here and you know the stuff alongside the bus station and kind of everything else around here. I think if we start looking at it from this angle. Yeah, okay. Of course we'll come through with path in the middle, maybe? Do you want to go decoration? Yeah, okay, I think the decoration's alright there. May change that up in the detail in time-lapse and switch it into kind of a box tree pattern, but we'll kind of see how the aesthetic of the area is working. Really happy with how much this intercity bus terminal is getting use. Very nice, people just kind of arriving in Palaven and see where they're going. Got some people split onto trams down there, people into underground metro this way. Wonderful, that's what we want to see. People using the trams to get around. I do like this asset in here, that's worked out quite nicely. Do we want some smaller ones actually? Maybe let's work with a couple of little 2x2 commercial plots this side perhaps. See how that works out. Okay. So, I think I am going to run with more repeated car park spice here, but not for the full length. I think we'll just go with this one. And then we'll run some through like this. People were asking, does Plop the Growables affect demand? Yes, it does. You may have noticed that my demand wasn't really moving up and down. It's purely because I have so much of it. That's why. Yeah, okay. I think, we get a nice wide open entrance into the city here. This will look really nice. Another unique building that would work fantastically well here, actually, will be the city arch. We place it about here. It's a shame we can only use it once, because if we could have it a couple of times, it almost like mark the entrances into the downtown. But it does increase the tourism capacity of the city, right? I think that's its kind of purpose. Increases the tourist capacity of roads by 5%, which is, well, always appreciated, isn't it? Okay, we'll leave it there for right now. We'll see how that kind of develops. Okay, wonderful. Let's have a look at the stadium, shall we? Let's get the stadium in here. So the asset itself is obviously a little bit of a chungus. But how much room do we have to play with between this road and everything else? So there's maybe 4 or 5 more tiles that we can move back there, which will bring the stadium right up against the road. Still factoring in the orientation of all the assets. I'm really looking forward to a match day here because this will become extremely busy, this little transport hub over here, where the trams and the metros converge, plus the elevated cycle highway. It's going to be very nice, I'm sure. I'm sure it will. Okay, so I think I'll move it back one more. And then we'll kind of play with some car park designs out the front here and some accompanying commercial to sit with the stadium. But we'll kind of work with this premise for right now, I think. So I think absolutely this is going to remain an elevated cycle highway. And we'll we'll start to bring it down with the old 11 tile method. Let's come out here. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect actually. That's where we want it to descend to. And then we're also running a connection through this side as well. So I actually wonder, just so we can squeeze in some more zone in here, do we want to take this to there? And then we can hook in that side. I think we will do. We can also have the little kind of bridges coming over the road to the stadium too, which will be nice. I guess it kind of makes this one pointless, and we can also use some zoning in here now too, which will be really nicely bordered, very similar to what we've got here. Maybe let's go for some high density commercial, just kind of see how that looks. So in terms of the road network around here, we're going to come out by 10 first of all, and then give ourselves a little bordering road this side for our car parks to sit in. Of course, we're after those 2x2 tiles in between, and we can come down here like this. We'll do the same thing on this side as well, of course. We want to come out by 10 down the side, and then come across by 1 more, and we'll have them in there like that. That's a wonder because we'll lose that perfect box there. Yeah, I guess that's fine. We can survive without that connection. And then we can start to generate our little car park effect around the stadiums here too. Which will be lovely once we've got some details in up alongside these elevated cycle highways. It's going to be really good. So especially when there's a match day here now, this area should get like super busy. Which is always nice to see an area like that. So of course, got some not enough customer warnings, but that's fine, that'll fade as people come in and out of the city. We do need to decide how we're going to bring power over to our little station here. I guess the best option would be to sync the assets through. So if we did do some terraforming here and kind of push all this stuff up, we'll be able to come through with maybe a little bit of commercial zone in here. Then maybe squeeze an asset of some kind to help sync it through. It's not that much of a bridge to get, but might have to do some electricity cheese to get it to come, but it will. But just kind of taking a look now, everything we've added today I think has contributed to the skyline as we're right on the edge of the ring road. We've got some smaller stuff before we start building up in the middle. And then start getting some high stuff over here. Drop down a little bit again. Have some open space in this part of town. And I think what we'll do, you know, where we have these awkward spaces coming in, we've got some people on this ring road junction now too. Now it's hooked in there, preferring to come through this way. Which, you know, in turn takes pressure off of this one, because there's people now having the options to go either way. And it's also taking the pressure off the internal network, because people are taking the ring road to get all the way over here, rather than, you know, coming through all this. Maybe go for some more nightlife zone in here, and then what I'll do is I'll duplicate this conifer and park fence and dirt path pattern, and it'll just act as like a really heavily patterned green belt that borders the office and financial vibes with kind of the higher density entertainment nightlife vibes that we've gone for here. And it'll be a nice little end to this part of the downtown landmass where we kind of merge into the tourist parkland. Probably next episode, I imagine now. Yeah, so he won't sink through, that's fine. I'll get some assets in here to get them through, it's fine. There's no problem at all. And yeah, we now need to drop these down again so we don't get the grass coming through. But guys, that does feel like a good place to jump into a detailing time-lapse. We're going to come through and remove these crematoriums. Add in some of the old faithful tram track detailing, get some trees in here too where we have these torn textures. I'll probably swing by and add a little bit of high density residential. And also continue our agreed upon green belt pattern that lies on the edge of the downtown, which now needs to come into here. And also detail up our new ring road entry and exit road. So as always, we'll be right back. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. If you've enjoyed the episode, a like below is always appreciated. As much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Really happy with this super cute combination of assets, including some public transport and of course a bunch of unique buildings. alongside some of the old 2x2 eco, organic and local produce commercial car park green city streak, which we've covered a million times before on the channel. I'm happy with the way it's turned out. I didn't want to go too many nightlife spam here because we've already done a lot of nightlife centres in Dawson and over at the industrial suburb too. So I wanted to kind of use it sparingly here and focus more around the main unique buildings and public transport stuff, which I think we've successfully done. I do hang around for all of the outro tags. You guys wouldn't have seen it all. There was a lot of stuff going on around the stadium, but it's really nice to see all of this tram and metro stuff starting to kick into action now, alongside some spicy ring road action, which you'll see during the cinematics, of course. But otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.